Hi everyone, I wanted to do a review of a couple of products that are older in my collection, and I'm going to call this Going Backward. And what it is I was going to order the new Chanel, what's it called, For Ombre eyeshadow palette, and I realized, and it was because it was such a gorgeous turquoise black that was in the palette, and then all of a sudden I realized I have stuff like that. I have things that I could use like that. And so I decided to experiment, and I went back to one of my old faithfuls. And it is the Urban Decay, I think, what's this called? Smoking Gun? Ammo. It's called Ammo. This is probably one of my favorite palettes of all time. If you had to choose a palette of all time, I wonder, what would yours be? Let me know. Respond in the comments below. What is your favorite all-time eyeshadow palette? Not just eyeshadow, but your palette, where you had more than one color in one palette. For one thing, I love that this is small. It's lightweight because it's waxed cardboard. It's magnetized, so it stays shut really good. But the selection of colors is second to none. I mean, it's got neutrals, it's got color, it is shimmery, and yet you could blend it out almost like it's matte. There's no matte in this, but I decided to take a combination of Shattered and Mildew, which is this beautiful blue and green, and make a turquoise, and then use the black. And between that and the Polyester Bride, which is a very white highlight, and let's see, you could use for the pink, you could use Grifter right there. This is just a very complete eyeshadow palette. So anyway, I went back and I made the exact same look that you could get from Chanel. Now, this is very shimmery. The Chanel one's more sparkly. And if I use like a MAC Fix Plus or some sort of moisture enhancing primer type thing for your eyes, I think it would probably look even better. But this is kind of what I did. And I know I don't have a great camera. I've got to invest in a better camera, because I don't know that you can see just how good this looks. It's not looking very turquoisey. It looks more mildew green. But what I did was I used the turquoise on the outer, and then I used the mildew green in the middle with the turquoise to make a lighter. I guess I could have also used Shatter with Polyester Bride, which is white, to make a lighter color. But I went with a greener lighter. And here's my point. You can use your old palettes. You don't always have to go buy a new palette. Here's another one that I've come back to. Hello. How old is this now? The Naked One palette is kind of one of the most bought palettes that there is. Why is it every time that I start filming there is a telephone call from telemarketers, and it tells me that it wants to be a call from, so I just cut them off. I think it's political. You know, those auto calls. But anyway. And of course y'all have seen this palette. I don't need to show this palette. You know the palette. It's just a perfect neutral brown palette. Then, of course, you know, the 2 came out, which had a little cooler tone. This is very warm. And then 3 came out, and I think it was even pinker toned. I still go back to this one just because I've got hazel brown green eyes, and so this just works for me the best anyway. I feel like this palette, and its sales proved it, is probably one of the best palettes that you could possibly use if you're a professional makeup artist, or just if you have a young teenager, because especially on this end, all these lighter colors, and you'd be surprised, everybody always thinks teenagers want to be so drastic. A lot of times they just want to look supernatural. Not supernatural, but super. They want to look very natural. And this is the palette for that. So I've pulled this out. This has been in one of my makeup drawers. And then the last thing that I pulled out that I have not had out in a long time, I got a lot of Chanel and a lot of YSL quads, and this is part of the Pure Chromatics line of YSL. I know it reflects really bad. And it's wet dry eyeshadows, and this one is number 19. And I'll just show you the colors. I got a couple of different combinations, but this is just such a gorgeous, it's like a champagne white, a champagne pink, a taupe, and a plummy brown, which are perfect colors for me. I don't know if you can see. I'm putting it towards the light so you can see the shimmer of it. This is a shimmer, not a matte palette. Okay? I pulled that one back out. All that to say, because it's gorgeous colors. I can't wait to use it tomorrow. All that to say is that you can invest in old eyeshadow palettes. As y'all know, I use a little, what is this? Like a little, what is it called? Double old fashioned or whatever? No, old fashioned. The short cup, crystal cup, that I keep all my, because I like crystal and brass in my bathroom. And this is that Sigma collection I told you about. That's the 18 karat gold. I never can think of what this is called, this piece that crimps the actual brushes. But, you know, it's Sigma. It's the best brushes to me that there are, especially for the money. But I use, even though I do have all these palettes, instead of using the applicators or brushes that came with them, I do use my own brushes. But anyway, what I would say is go back into your drawers. Before you go and buy a whole bunch of more makeup, go back into the drawers of the makeup that you have, and I guarantee you could probably find the look. You have probably bought a palette before that represents a look that you're going after that's just come out. I mean, really, how many can they come out with? But anyway, and it'll just save you some money and make you feel, for one thing, it makes you fall back in love with the palettes that you just fell so in love with, but you keep getting so many more. The only bad thing about constantly buying makeup is, for one thing, it gets old. And if it's more than 3 months old in powder, you need to chunk it. If it's more than 30 days old in a cream base, meaning mascara, eyeliner, cream, shadows, you need to chunk it. Because they've proven that bacteria does grow in it. The more creamy powders, I wouldn't even wait 3 months. I would go ahead and say 2 months. But anything creamy or liquidy, less than 30 days, get rid of it. So when you do have a collection, like a lot of us do, then you need to go back through that collection and kind of say, okay, I love this and I need to use it up. And part of the collection is that you want to have it, but the point of life is to enjoy it. So use it up. There'll always be more stuff. Use up what you have. Don't overcommit yourself financially to overspending in makeup, because we can do that, y'all. People are like, oh, you can't do that makeup. It's like, you don't see the prices of my makeup. And even sometimes when I find it on sale or it's drugstore or not as expensive, you still can spend a lot of money on it. So go ahead and use what you have. Use it up. Play with it, like, get the colors that you're seeing in the new palettes. I guarantee you can find them in your old palettes. And then when you've used it all up, go invest and buy yourself a little bit more and enjoy it then, because then you can feel good about it. Okay. Well, all right. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.